Okay, here's the deal. I've decided I'm going to watch the entirety of Star Trek Discovery in the next 4 days. They're about 13 episodes a season, so 12-hour day, assuming 42-minute episodes. I think I'm going to go ahead and change my plan to turn the ads off because that seems like a good idea. Let's fly. Good news is I'm not on a project, so technically I have enough time. Bad news is I still have things I have to do in my life, so I will be doing it on a PC, on a laptop, on a tablet, on my phone for a lot of it because I'm driving into town today. Yeah, we'll see how this science experiment goes. I think watching it, maybe even trying to watch it in 1.5 times speed may be appropriate. Here's to dumb experiments. Yeah, so I finished season 1 at 3 a.m. this morning. I was afraid it was going to be a situation where it was going to be like a 15-hour flight where I just felt totally destroyed afterwards, and I feel fine. You know, I worked out, I did some other stuff yesterday, so I feel okay. I could have used a little bit more sleep, though. The show's palatable, you know, it's not bad. It's an interesting story, and it's pretty easy to follow because you really only follow the Michael character. I mean, there's other characters in the ensemble, but it's obviously Michael's story. I discovered 2 things. One is you can't natively play at faster than regular speed on Paramount Plus. There is a Chrome extension, so I'll probably try it on my computer today with the Chrome extension because I do watch a lot of other stuff at faster than regular speed. We'll see if I stick to that because I am one of those people who likes a dark, quiet movie theater. The other thing is, in order to sign up for the ad-free version of Paramount Plus, I had to waive the extra 2 days of my free trial. And so now I've been charged the full $10 or whatever to watch this show. That stung a little. So I'll do season 2 today. I don't think it'll be quite as long of a day. And the only other thing is I lost track. Is the blonde scientist at the end of season 1, is he the evil Bizarro Universe version or is he the good version? I thought I saw the swap into the bad guy, but now I'm not sure because he seems like a nice guy. I don't know. Here we go. Okay, it's morning of day 3. I finished up season 2 last night at 3 a.m. My own fault. I did figure out how to get the Chrome extension to play it at faster speed. 1.25 speed, very good. 1.5 speed, the dialogue almost is too fast and the action is way too fast. So I kind of was just 1.5 speed as much as I could when I wasn't watching on my tablet. Truth be told, I liked season 2. A lot more characters explored. Captain Pike is the captain in all of it, which was completely unexpected to me because it was pitched as in the first episode as he was just going to help him get to a new captain. And then he was the main character captain, not the main character, but the captain. It still doesn't do the Star Trek things that I think it's supposed to do, which is talk about flaws in the society that we live in so much as it is an adventure story. But for what it was, I thought season 2 was a huge jump in quality above season 1. I'm looking forward to season 3 as a result. Having said that, 15 episodes for season 1, 14 episodes for season 2, although that 14th episode was over an hour long. 13 episodes for season 3, but just how things are going, it does seem like it's going to be another 3 a.m. day. I'm tired, but I'm not, jet lagged. So, yep. Also, Spock is emo, and now he's not emo because he got over himself. Yep. Okay, so morning of day 4. So I finished season 3 in the middle of the night last night. I'm getting slower at watching these, and I'm kind of losing my mind a little bit. Not because of the content of the show, but because it's really not possible to watch an entire season in a day. It's just, it's weird. So I'm very tired today, and I'm just going to go ahead and knock it out because this is the 4th and last season. I will say season 2 of the 3 seasons I've watched so far stands out as my favorite. Season 3 does seem like it's more Star Trek in the way I think about Star Trek than the rest of them. It was just, I don't know. I have feelings about time travel, and I have feelings about the idea. Okay, so like you watch a movie like X-Men Days of Future Past that has like what I call like the ticking time bomb aspect of it where you're playing beat the clock. It is kind of that experience for season 3 because you're stuck in the future the whole time. And I was under the impression that they were going to go back to their regular time at some point. So I was waiting for that to happen. So it was kind of a stressful experience to watch because I was like, well, when are they going to, figure out how to get back to their time? But it seemed like by the end of the season, they kind of just abandoned that altogether and just decided that they were going to live in this future that they live in. I don't know. So I'm not super optimistic about what's going to take place in season 4 just because I was hoping I was under the impression that they were going to go back to their original time, and it seems like that's not a possibility anymore. Short of that, though, I think it's a lot better. The fact that, every single story isn't Michael's story, I think is a huge quality uptick for the show. Because Michael, when every single story is just Michael's story, you're really only getting the perspective of one character. Whereas, a giant ensemble, the strength of the giant ensemble is exploring the differences and minutia and all the little details about different characters. And so there was the episode about so-and-so. There was the episode about so-and-so, which I really appreciate. I think that's what Star Trek does better than any other franchise that exists, is focusing on characters that wouldn't otherwise be noticed. But yeah, so looking forward to season 4. Enjoyed season 2. Thought season 3 was okay. Still have, really strong feelings about season 1. But that maybe this is just a testament to the fact that a lot of shows' first seasons are not what the show ultimately becomes. I think that's fair to say. I got another 14 hours of shows to watch. Yeah, okay. Okay, it's the middle of the night, and I finished season 4 of Star Trek Discovery, so I finished all the seasons. My brain is fried. I'm very tired because, as my little check-ins will have demonstrated, just not enough sleep. Initial takeaways, a season of a show, definitely not intended to be watched in a day. I don't think that's new information, but yeah, I'm tired, basically. I enjoyed season 4. I think if I were to initially rank them, there's hair poking in the eye, I'd probably say in most liked to least liked, it goes 2, 4, 3, and then a huge gap, and then 1. So I have feelings about the fact that they basically maroon themselves in the future. Makes me feel uncomfortable. But that seems to be where the show is going. Michael cries in every episode, no matter what, at least once, as does at least a couple other characters, depending on how emotionally relevant the episode is. The show really likes to do sort of the big bad of the season, where everything sort of builds to that. Sure, a lot less episodic than The Next Generation, which is the high watermark that I put everything up against. It does feel like a Star Trek show. By season 4, it does feel like Star Trek. I will admit that. It was not a season 2 and 3 and 4 I enjoyed. Not a chore to watch. Hard to say if I'll go back through and watch them properly again, just because there's so many more Star Treks to go through that, possibly the best looking Star Trek, except for maybe Strange New Worlds, because I do think Strange New Worlds looks the best show-wise. I have my mind changed. I still have strong reservations about certain things that I think Star Trek needs to be, specifically the sort of golden rule that everything that takes place needs to be a reflection of what's going on in the society we live in. And this show sort of, as the show goes on, especially in season 4, they do kind of address that a little bit, but not, they're more interested in sort of the adventure, the solve the problem aspect of it. It was, a 13-hour movie, basically. I'm rambling because I'm so tired. My brain is tired. I do see the new Star Wars episodes DNA in this show specifically, in that the main character, the Michael character, she's in the middle of everything, which, sure, if it's a story, sure. But I do like, especially in season 4, they actually leaned on the ensemble and understanding characters and seeing their points of view. I thought was really a really great addition and aspect to the show. But yeah, Michael's got her hand in everything, and then she ends up kind of being the master of whatever she's doing. She cries a lot, so I guess that is an argument for that she struggles, but it just seems like she gets what she wants every single time, no matter what. And I don't know. I feel like other shows are a little bit more pragmatic about the fact that an individual, with the exception of, now that I think about it, the William Shatner character was very much the same way, where he was just a superhero in a world of no superheroes. And I feel like Michael is that also. Ignoring the William Shatner of it all, though, things can happen to characters that are not necessarily good. I will probably have to count it, but there were many people who died and then came back to life, all through very specific different ways. I have feelings about that. I can see why, but I have feelings about that. I'm on for season 5, I guess, if that makes sense. And now I need to start watching Stranger Worlds because it has given me context. I'm going to go to bed now. And don't worry about all this. If you can see it, that's just because I had bread today, and that's what happens. So let's fly. Yeah, so honestly, am I a true believer in Star Trek Discovery? No. Did I enjoy it more than I expected to? Yes, especially season 2 and also season 4. There's definitely a lot of things I still think Star Trek Discovery doesn't do as well as something like The Next Generation or Voyager or Deep Space Nine even. Mainly the us of it all. Mainly the, shining the light on what we could do better as people, what we could do better as a society of cooperating people with a common goal, all that kind of stuff. Because this show is much more of an adventure show where they're solving the riddle, they're finding the big reveal, instead of, the older Star Treks were more about exploration and really testing assumptions, theories, and stereotypes. This show doesn't seem to have much of an interest in that. It does later when they start exploring different characters, which I really appreciate. Season 4 especially really took time to explore, admittedly a bunch of the characters are already dead, but a lot of the characters are still left, and what's going on with them, what's making them react the way they are. Because at the end of the day, it's humans experiencing emotions in space, it's people experiencing emotions in space. Even though the aliens are not human, everybody's human. That's kind of the whole point. I don't regret watching the show. I regret that I watched the show in 4 days because it absolutely ruined my sleep schedule, and now I'm just having Star Trek dreams. And worse lives can be had because I think this show, probably more than any of the Star Trek shows, looks fantastic. I think this is the best looking Star Trek show ever. I would put up against the J.J. Abrams movies in how it looked. It looked that good. But that was never the point of the old Star Treks. The further back in time you go with the Star Treks, the campier they are. And part of that is just campiness and where the society is and who's writing it. But the other part of it is just the limitations of the visual effects, whereas this show seems to have no limitations on visual effects. And they did a really good job of delivering that. So did I change my mind about this show? Yes, except for season 1. I still maintain season 1 is absolutely terrible. I don't think that's a very controversial idea. It's the nature of shows. Most shows don't get it right in their first season anyway. I can acknowledge that. I was just surprised as the jump in quality from season 1 to season 2 specifically, but then there is a jump in quality going forward. I just have feelings about, specifically what went on in season 3 and the uncomfortableness of it all. But I'm also the guy who doesn't like X-Men Days of Future Past, so that's fine. I'll definitely watch season 5. I'm invested in these characters now. I still don't think it's the Star Trek the way I think of Star Trek, and that's fine. It's a different direction. I can appreciate that. It seems like Strange New Worlds is sort of filling that gap a little bit of sort of grounding itself a little bit more in the tradition of the original series of The Next Generation. Having only watched the first episode, I have reservations. I will be watching the second episode after I finish this. I just didn't want to mix ideas too much before I got this part out. Yeah, Star Trek Discovery, worthwhile watch for sure, especially if you're somebody who's never seen Star Trek. If you care about Star Trek, or if you care about the sort of the Gene Roddenberry definition of optimism and dealing with, the decay of our society and what we can do to sort of change the course a little bit, I think The Next Generation or Deep Space Nine is a much more satisfying sort of mental and emotional experiment. I guess the true fans that are going to watch the show are going to pay the whatever it costs a month to watch it. CBS and Paramount Plus is sort of just opinion of how they treat their audience. This show is behind a paywall. You can't watch it at any speed other than the way they intended. And they drop episodes week to week. It's a very specific way of doing things. I think it's an older way of doing things that is becoming less and less relevant. All right, so I got it out. Now I'm going to go watch the next episode of Strange New Worlds. And all right, I got a pitch for Star Trek. It's going to be this blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy who's a genius. He's good at everything. He's charismatic. He's going to definitely bang every organism he finds because that's going to be one of his traits. But he's also awesome and right all the time. Go.